Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Time for the morning fishing report. It is a flat, calm, bright, sunny summer morning out here on Oneida Lake and beautiful upstate New York. And it was so beautiful, I believe the fish have went on vacation this morning. I shouldn't say that. I caught a giant perch on my first cast, hole in one, as Captain Tony Buffa likes to say. I threw a big gold rattle Castmaster out into the abyss, and I saw the line jump as it was falling to the bottom like that, hit the bottom, and I took up the slack and took a sip of coffee. I'm like, that doesn't feel like anything substantial, so I make my first jig, and it goes dunk like that. All right, this is a giant perch. It was probably, I don't know, that big. That seems reasonable. And that, I fished 3 spots. I was a little late this morning. I slept in till about 5:15. I didn't get out here till probably 6-ish. It was 62 degrees air temp when I left the dock. The splash test on my feet says it's probably in the high 70s, if not, I would say high 70s after those 2 cold days we've had. I fished, so I started deeper, and I found that perch, and I had something else going, felt like a walleye. I had something else going on a bucktail, which I threw around for a few minutes. I didn't have a ton of time this morning, so I brought 2 rods with me today. Normally I don't on the jet ski, but I brought 2 rods. I had a second one rigged up with a spinner, and I fished 3 good grass clumps on my way down the North Shore here, and there was nobody home at any of them except for tons of these little, just clouds of these little perch. So obviously we're getting that time of year where these Don and I found a pretty good concentration of bigger perch out deep the other day. My guess is it's that time of year, and they're starting to school up and get ready for the fall. And I saw yesterday, Courtney and I are standing on the dock. I was throwing a frog into some grass mat that I've got just to the other side of my dock, and saw 2 fish come swimming through. Oh, I bet they were in the 12-inch range, give or take, but they were slender, and they turned sideways. I'm like, what is that? They turned sideways, and they got a big forked tail on them. I think they were shad. We talked to Jake earlier this spring. I saw him the other day. I got that video still to come. Saw him the other day, and we had another nice conversation. And I didn't realize there were so many shad in this lake, and I didn't realize they were the big ones making the little ones. I guess I've seen shad come up to Delaware, and Mo and I fished for him one time down on the Delaware throwing shad darts. But he's like, well, these come from the ocean. And I said, well, okay. I didn't really think anything of it. And I didn't realize we had that size of shad in this lake, and that's what makes the little shad. I mean, that sounds silly, I guess. I've never really seen them. And those are the first 2 adult shad I've ever seen in this lake. Now, immediately people say, oh yeah, they're here all the time, and I've caught them. If you've caught them and you got pictures of them, you know what to do. Put them in the comments below and show everybody. Because I know Don said he's caught adult shad out here. I'd be super curious to see pictures of shad people have caught on this lake. Be super curious. And I got all excited yesterday when I saw those shad at the dock in the river, because in the fall, you'll see clouds and clouds of baitfish come by the dock. Again, I always thought those were emerald shiners, and I'm sure some of them are, but Jake was the one that told me that that's the main thoroughfare, the Oneida River, coming back into the lake that these shad are coming through and migrating into this lake to spawn. I'm still somewhat unclear on how that happens, where they come from, how they get through the locks. Are they coming from Lake Ontario? Do they live somewhere in the river on this side? I have questions. You know, my life is questions. I have questions. I don't care. You could hand me $1 bill or $1 million bill and I'd be like, well, why? What are you giving me this for? And that's just the way I am. But a lot of my questions have served me well. I had a friend of mine one time tell me I asked too many questions. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you can ask too many questions. Not just fishing questions, all kinds of questions. But I have questions. If anybody out there's got answers, I know Jake watches the morning report most days. If you watch this and you have more insight, please put it in the comments. We are nothing if not an ever-growing group of like-minded anglers who are constantly looking for answers to the puzzle question that is the fishing that we do. Not just on Oneida Lake, but right now we happen to be focusing on Oneida Lake. So if anybody has answers, real answers, scientific answers, well thought out, you know, not just I feel answers, then put them in the comments below and let's talk about it. I love learning. I love to learn. It doesn't matter what it is. Lastly, thanks everybody for the run of orders that I've had on the Shopify store. I still have some t-shirts left from this first run. And remember, we have new design. I have a new design coming. I have 2 new designs coming, and sun shirts here. I don't know. I would think at this point next week. And update on the boat. I had been told it was supposed to be done on Friday. I talked to the mechanic yesterday. And there's a delay. Supposedly so it's an Evinrude, that my motor's an Evinrude E-Tech owned by BRP. BRP's something. You know, they're ordering parts. Website was hacked and was down, and so I was told that they ordered the injectors because it's injectors that are 2 injectors that are bad. There's no place in central New York you can buy them that have on hands of anything, so I have to wait for them to be ordered. And he didn't know if the order went through, if it's been shipped. No one knows anything. So I personally can't let it bother me. It is bothering me. I want my boat back. It's been all summer. It's been 2 months. I want my boat back. I want to get it back out and do what I do, and I love my jet ski. I love my jet ski. It has saved me in a lot of ways. I want my boat back. And I was really hoping that it was going to be this weekend. It was going to be Friday. It still might. There's still a chance, and I am ever hopeful. That is one thing the one thing people cannot say about me is that I'm a pessimist, because I'm not. I am forever hopeful with people, with places, with things. I'm forever hopeful. Sometimes I get disappointed, and the disappointment, I believe, comes from my own expectations that I put on things, which I do a lot of. I get excited about things. I'm like, this is going to be the greatest, and oh, I can't wait to get there. Well, you know, when you say something like I can't wait, then you're putting a mixed message out there. Because you're saying wait, which means, you know, you're waiting, and then you can't. But when it's something that you're looking forward to in a good way, then why would you say a word that's negative like can't? I can't wait. Well, you can wait because you have no choice. I mean, if something's not being handed to you right then and there, then you have to wait. And so saying I can't wait is just putting turmoil out there. I'm trying to avoid turmoil. I've waited this long, I can wait another day, another week. So I'm trying to lessen my expectations. I got all excited when I talked to him last Saturday that I'd have it back by this Friday, and I started making plans, even if in my head, about all the things and places I want to do as soon as I get the boat back, because I had such different plans for this summer. But plans don't work out sometimes, you know, and I struggle sometimes with expectations of something beforehand and making plans either too far in advance or that aren't realistic, meaning that I'm making a plan without having all the ingredients to make the plan work. It'd be like baking a cake and it takes 5 ingredients and you've got 2. And you're like, I'll fill it in when I get there, but you still don't have those ingredients, so you still aren't going to make a cake that's going to look like a cake. So I made plans and wanted to do things that I haven't been able to yet because I don't have my boat. Fishing's fishing. Man, there's fish jumping all over this hump. One of these days I'm bringing my fly rod out here with a popper, a little tiny panfish popper, and I'm just going to see what these things are and see if something will come and eat it. But, all right, it's Thursday. The weekend's in sight. It's right around the corner. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Weather's supposed to be great. So get out, do something fun. I don't care what it is. Do something fun. I vote for fun in this lifetime. Fun, fun, fun. If it ain't fun, I don't want to do it. There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks. Thanks a ton. Remember, you can go over to the Shopify store. I'll put the link below in the description, and you can feel free to support the channel. I'm so grateful for everybody that already has. I got a ton of great stuff, and there's plenty to go around. So thanks as always, and I will talk to you, yeah, you right there, tomorrow morning. And as always, I hope you have a great day. I hope everything is sunshine for you. And the moment it isn't, don't be discouraged. Just remember, keep your tip up.